NASA celebrates successful return of Artemis II crew after historic lunar flyby. The 4 astronauts of NASA's Artemis II mission are safely back on Earth today, following a flawless splashdown in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of San Diego on Friday evening. Commander Reid Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Koch, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen completed a nearly 10-day journey that took them farther from Earth than any humans in more than 50 years, including a successful flyby around the Moon. The Orion spacecraft touched down precisely as planned at approximately 8:07 in the evening Eastern Time on April 10th. Recovery teams aboard the USS John P. Murtha quickly assisted the astronauts, who were reported to be happy and healthy after their historic voyage. The mission marked the first time humans have traveled beyond low Earth orbit since the Apollo era, testing key systems for future lunar landings and delivering authentic data and footage captured in real time. The successful return of the crew has sparked widespread celebration across the space community. Late on Friday night, NASA officials held a post-splashdown press conference at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Scientists, engineers, directors, administrators, and government representatives gathered to mark the occasion. The event featured prepared opening statements in which leaders congratulated the teams on the mission's success and reflected on its significance for the future of human space exploration. Speakers highlighted the precision of the re-entry, the performance of the Orion spacecraft, and the crew's safe return as major milestones achieved through years of dedicated effort. The press conference then moved into an unscripted question-and-answer portion. Journalists and real members of the public asked questions about the crew's condition, technical details of the splashdown, lessons learned from minor issues during the flight such as the toilet system challenges and email connectivity problems, and what comes next for the Artemis program. Panelists answered openly and directly, sharing both the triumphs and the practical challenges overcome during the mission. The questions came from genuine reporters and interested citizens, allowing for natural dialogue that covered everything from the emotional moments of re-entry to the scientific value of the data collected during the lunar flyby. The entire press conference felt remarkably authentic and straightforward, much like the moon mission itself. Everything said about the mission during the event was true and grounded in the actual events that unfolded. None of it came across as pretentious or self-aggrandizing. Instead, the tone remained focused on the hard work, teamwork, and real achievements of the people involved. The celebration was genuine because the moon mission really did happen, and it was very successful. The footage, data, and crew experiences shared were completely real, without any computer-generated imagery, and absolutely 100% authentic. None of it was fake. The press conference served as a heartfelt celebration of the moon mission and everyone who contributed to it. The scientists, directors, administrators, and all the people behind the scenes demonstrated that they are genuine individuals with real jobs to do. They are not just collecting paychecks. Part of their important work includes standing up after successful missions to share updates, answer questions honestly, and inspire the next generation. Their straightforward manner and focus on facts reflected the same authenticity that defined the Artemis II flight from launch to splashdown. Highlights from the press conference included detailed accounts of the crew's activities during the lunar flyby. Speakers described how the astronauts had moments of lighthearted fun in the weightless environment, playfully tossing objects and sharing snacks while orbiting the moon. These genuine, unscripted scenes highlighted the human side of deep space exploration and reminded everyone that even on a groundbreaking mission, astronauts remain relatable people who enjoy simple fun. It seemed rather surprising to many observers that the crew had time for such carefree goofing around on this first crewed mission around the moon in more than 50 years, especially considering the high stakes and the reality that there would be no quick rescue possible if anything had gone seriously wrong far from Earth. One might have thought a tighter schedule with less room for leisure would be the norm on such a historic and potentially risky endeavor. Yet the crew found those relaxed moments anyway. Other highlights focused on the mission's technical successes. Officials praised the flawless handling of the re-entry sequence, including the management of the communications blackout caused by plasma during atmospheric entry. They also addressed the minor technical hiccups encountered early in the flight, such as issues with the spacecraft's advanced toilet system, known as the Universal Waste Management System. There were problems with the urine collection fan jamming and a frozen waste vent line that required creative troubleshooting, such as rotating the spacecraft to warm things up using sunlight. The astronauts handled the situation with good humor and relied on backup procedures. It was rather amusing to picture high-level space engineers troubleshooting what amounts to a plumbing problem while circling the moon, much like dealing with a clogged drain back home on Earth. Mission controllers confirmed the toilet returned to full operation after a short time, without impacting the overall success. Adding to the relatable nature of the journey, the astronauts encountered a familiar frustration with their email system. Commander Reid Wiseman reported that he had 2 separate installations of the Microsoft Outlook email program on his device, and neither one was working properly. He asked the ground team to remotely access the computer to fix it, exactly as many people do during a typical workday on Earth. Ground engineers resolved the Outlook and email problems quickly. It was funny and ironic that even while flying around the moon, the crew could not escape the universal annoyance of technology acting up. So even with all the budget and high-tech geniuses at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, they still have problems with email in outer space, just like down here on Earth. These light moments brought smiles to the press conference attendees and underscored the human element of the mission. Throughout the discussion, NASA emphasized that the crew and ground teams responded professionally to each minor challenge using built-in redundancies. There were no emergencies and no critical failures. Overall, everything went basically as good as one could imagine, considering the crew was flying around the moon. The spacecraft performed admirably during the Lunar Flyby and delivered stunning live views of the moon and Earth that captivated audiences worldwide. The successful return demonstrates the growing reliability of the Orion spacecraft and sets the stage for future Artemis missions that will eventually land astronauts on the lunar surface once again. The press conference also touched on the broader implications of the mission. Leaders spoke about how Artemis II builds on the legacy of previous space programs while paving the way for sustainable human presence on the moon and eventual journeys to Mars. They thanked international partners, including the Canadian Space Agency, for their contributions and stressed the importance of continued investment in space exploration. The genuine enthusiasm in the room was palpable, with no sense of scripted performance or inauthenticity. Because the moon mission really did happen, and it was very successful, the celebration felt earned and sincere. All the people involved, from the engineers who designed the systems to the administrators who coordinated the efforts, showed themselves to be dedicated professionals committed to their real jobs. As the astronauts now rest and prepare for debriefings and medical evaluations at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, the successful completion of Artemis II marks a significant step forward. The mission proved that NASA and its international partners can send humans around the moon and bring them home safely in this new era of exploration. The authentic footage shared, free of any computer-generated imagery and with no parts of the mission being fake, continues to inspire people around the world. In summary, the Artemis II mission and its accompanying press conference represent a shining example of genuine human achievement in space exploration. The astronauts' safe return to Earth after flying around the moon, combined with the open and authentic celebration at the Kennedy Space Center, highlights the real dedication of everyone involved. From the lighthearted goofing around moments in space to the successful handling of minor glitches like the toilet and email issues, and through the honest dialogue in the unscripted question and answer session, the entire endeavor felt true and grounded in reality. None of it was pretentious, self-aggrandizing, or inauthentic, because the moon mission truly happened and was very successful. The scientists, directors, administrators, and all team members proved they are genuine people performing real jobs, not merely collecting paychecks. Their work, including talking at press conferences after successful missions, contributes to a legacy of exploration that will benefit generations to come. As NASA looks ahead to future Artemis flights and beyond, this landmark achievement reminds us of the power of authentic effort and teamwork in pushing the boundaries of what is possible. The safe splashdown and the crew's return mark not just the end of one journey, but the beginning of a new chapter in our collective adventure among the stars.